Gentlemen, today is finally the day after 2 long weeks of waiting. I'm going to Giulio with the MT10 to drop her off and pick up the Panigale with the new graphics. Believe me when I tell you that I can't contain my excitement. In the past few days, I've received some spoiler photos from Giulio, so I already know what to expect, but not entirely. Initially, I had an idea in my head that I then completely changed and overturned. In fact, to tell the truth, I did the complete opposite. But I must say that the result was really awesome. So we remember the Panigale being red. It's not anymore. I know it's turned black. We understand the anxiety. Ooh, black and neon yellow. Wow. But it's sought after big tank master, I must say. We did it in honor, probably, of a street fighter that hasn't been seen on the channel for a while. Really cool, really cool. I had seen something, guys, so I'm not as excited as I should be at this moment. Because I realize, in short, that it's a really spectacular motorcycle, but seeing it complete in detail, then up close, it's something else. Let me know below what you think. Let's take a good look at it, up close, so you can appreciate every detail. And together with Giulio, this time we also explain why some design choices.
So guys, as Nicolo already said, the motorcycle was completely red. Here we are talking about a total application in wrapping. In this case, it's matte black. Nicolo's initial idea was to make it glossy black, but they've already presented 4 new glossy black ones. So I said, why don't we try a matte black that, in my opinion, has a perfect finish. It looks painted. Then we decided to combine this matte black with a nice glossy fluorescent yellow, creating a nice contrast, highlighting all the shapes of the bike. For example, we decided to highlight this recess of the Studio Fiber tank cover and then move on to emphasize the classic shape of the Panigale 5/4 tail. In fluorescent yellow, we also decided to differentiate the tank from all the others, wrapping it with a nice matte silver to simulate the aluminum tank that already comes from the factory in some Ducati versions. And we also covered the bottom part of the tank. This was a fairly complex job without disassembling anything, but we managed to do it.
However, I also want to clarify something that in this quick overview, perhaps for the more attentive, will not have escaped notice. But for everyone else, I want to emphasize it. With Giulio, we redesigned my logo, finally making it less childish, more, let's say, sinuous, dynamic, elegant. If we want, on this bike, it really looks divine. Also because it remains beautiful, sporty, and for a missile of this kind, obviously, it makes its damn figure. Note that between the signature and the matte fairing, there is this number, 19, which is my number, which stands out depending on how the light is then reflected on it. In my opinion, it's a very interesting little detail that completes the aesthetics. Then this bike, which is already phenomenal at its base. As you can see, the WRS logos, which is the owner, I remind you of this bike, are not missing. They are scattered all over the bike. But Giulio and I came up with a position, in our opinion, really very cool. Also, because the bike is very suitable for leaning, as you can imagine, and at the moment of the lean, this logo here becomes really cool to see in photos. As you can see though, even with the bike stationary straight on the stand, it makes its own damn impression. And then of course we have a tank always made in glossy black, placed at the bottom to contain all the logos of the various sponsors. To embellish this base Panigale 5/4 a little more, we went on to add, thanks to our friends at Studio Fiber, some carbon components. Not all the ones I would have wanted, because unfortunately there's a big problem with this bike, the fact that it's new, being 2025. Many companies are now working to gradually release various accessories. Just like Studio Fiber, which already has a catalog including the front mudguard, which however in this version here you still see original. But get ready, because it's coming and it will require a closer look. You may have already seen the first sponsors who are not fully on board with the bike yet, but who have already confirmed their presence within the project, including Spring Filter, whom I thank Jet Prime. There will be some switch gears coming, there will be some racing goodies, but also bike armor, which from what I see is already present on the bike, but not in its entirety, because obviously we are explaining the original paint of the bike's fairings. I am
already protected
by the wrap film that has been applied, but no one protects the wrap film.
And so,
to do a top-notch job, 100% fine, as we are used to, Giulio has protected most of the carbon with bike armor films, and especially no headlights, wings, and dashboard. No, not yet. No, we have to do it. Yes, I wanted to do it with you.
No, not yet. No, we have to do it. Yes, I wanted to do it with you.
A very, very easy process, but why do I do it to him? Because it's so perfect. And especially in the ungraphed parts, like on the tail, which is partly graphed, wrapped with fluorescent yellow, while the carbon remains exposed to view. For a design choice, the bike armor film is a nice plus that I recommend. As you can see, Giulio here has already wrapped everything. I really have to get very close to the tank part to make you understand that the films are there. And it's even more hidden on the tank cover where the film is already present. But I challenge everyone to understand that it's there. In the mudguard area, we did the same film work here as well. The result then, on the gloss, is really crazy. They seem totally unprotected, but the protection is there. And then we have a little tribute that I wanted to have on the bike with me this year. Guys, in my opinion, hands down, one of the best graphics I've brought to the channel. A delicate thing, but still refined, that maintains its sportiness without falling into tackiness. So let me understand what else we need to install from Berkeley Packet Filter.
So we still need to install the film on the headlights, on the wings, dashboard, and I left 2 little pieces behind the tail.
I'll show you the application process together with Giulio. I remind you, of course, that all the discount codes from brands and partners can be found below in the description. Specifically, Bike Armor discount code ARROW10 discount of 10% on the entire site. And by the way, speaking of Bike Armor, it should also be said that a new little product came out on their site yesterday. The new specific paint protection film for visors. It's a film that I challenge you to be able to see from this image. The adaptation, therefore, is perfect and will protect your entire field of vision from any problems that may arise while driving. For example, while driving underwater, thanks to its water repellent property, it manages to let the water slide off without problems, giving you perfect vision even in adverse weather conditions. Another example, how many times has it happened that you had to change your visor because maybe a friend in front of you threw a nice stone that came straight in front of your eyes? Well, we all know how much these visors cost, especially if you have a fixation on chrome, just like me. But fortunately, this will be a distant memory. Because thanks to the specific paint protection film for bike armor visors, you will be able to protect your visor from any potential mishaps. Currently, you can find the product discounted on the Bike Armor website. I invite you to click the link below and use the code ARROW10 during the purchase phase to get an even more discounted price than what you already find on the site. Cool. This is not the first paint protection film that sees installed or that I installed directly. But every time the fact that then the film, once put and applied correctly, disappears, it seems like black magic. And obviously it's essential to protect the bike from any stones or marks that could be made during use, especially considering the cost. Giulio, thank you so much. Really top work. I'll leave that other one for you to fix. I'll come pick it up after the tour of Sardinia. Now I'm gonna go get looked at on the street with this beauty. What a show, what a show. Oh, I'm on reserve. You've done the Suck Mortacci by Giulietto. Thanks, what a space coolness. Guys like Trip Fuel 47 and 4. Oh mom, will the gas station get there? Yes, what anxiety. Then guys, I repeat, let me know yours. What do you think below in the comments? Then, of course, as soon as we have a bike, we look at it well in the sun, but above all, I would say it's time to make it do some nice little kilometer on the track. I would say that could be all for this video. As usual, I invite you to subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button. It costs you nothing, but it really helps me a lot. The green arrow with the new graphics on the red panic. That's all. See you in the next video.